how was life in college?
Life in college was just like any other person's life in college. Here and there, you want to work as you're doing your course. And yes, I enjoyed my life in college. It was quite an amazing one. One of the things that really amazes me in my life in college, there's one unit that I really loved. And I knew after doing my diploma, that's why I wanted to venture again. And that is psychology, counseling psychology. It was one of my units. Yes. So I still didn't have
You had not gotten satisfied.
Yes, I was still not satisfied. No, I was satisfied, not like I wasn't satisfied, but I still knew that I wanted, after you settle in one course, then you feel like, oh, I think I'm enjoying this. And so that point was counseling. Mm-hmm. And I knew for my bachelor's, I would enroll for counseling psychology. Shock on you, I did.
You didn't for psychology.
I know.
So what motivated you to love counseling psychology?
I think, first of all, the lecturer who was facilitating then, she really explained things, and then I will relate with it. Those childhood experiences, the way you grow, whatever, the psychology or whatever issues psychology was bringing in were real issues that people face in the community. And so I was really enjoying and I could relate. And I wanted to be this person that I wanted to move now again with an individual from suffering to a point of maybe feeling better and feeling good about themselves.
Wow.
Yes.
You finished your diploma now?
Yes, I've finished my diploma. Of course, like any other person, you out there, you tarmac, you're looking for a job, and it's not easy here, so you don't get a job immediately. So 3 years down the line, I had nothing to do. I got myself in the hotel space.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I know.
What were you doing in the hotel?
I was a supervisor in a certain hotel I will not mention. I enjoyed my time there because, of course, I said I'm vibrant, outgoing. And so I used to interact with different clients and I learned everything about it.
So you are a supervisor in a hotel. Mm-hmm. Your background is community development.
Yes.
And the knowledge of hotel management, you're just learning on job.
Yeah, I'm learning on job.
Okay.
Yes.
Take us to the psychology class now.
When I finished my diploma, I stayed out for 3 years. Uh-huh. And so in between here, I moved from Mombasa now to Nairobi. And when I came to Nairobi, I thought, why not try, as I'm working, why not try psychology? I did enroll for the first semester. I went for the first 2 months and I thought...
You enrolled as higher diploma?
No, degree. Okay. A bachelor's. And so I was enjoying, but at some point I felt like something is not adding up. Something is not adding up. This is not what I wanted to do. Then I remembered, there's something that I've always wanted to do. And so in between the hustle and bustles of Nairobi, I found myself in the road safety space, working with an NGO, startup NGO. I've moved now from the hotel industry, and in between there, maybe a year or two or not working, I had put in some business. I'd now started to become an entrepreneur. And so, yes, I moved to do business. I know, quite confusing.
I'm really confused.
Yes.
I'm trying to understand. You enrolled to psychology, You've gotten into business, now you are in road safety.
Yes.
What exactly are you doing?
I am trying to look for myself. I'm looking for a sense of belonging. Yes, I do not still know where I belong professionally. Because I feel like in the hotel industry, I'm doing it because there's money, there's salary and remuneration.
So what were you doing in the road safety space?
In the road safety space, oh my God, that's where my project management journey began now. It was a good space. I want to encourage anyone who's watching, I don't know if this is the right time, do not despise humble beginnings. I started really low, entry point. It was a startup NGO, and management was keen on ensuring that there's creation of awareness on road safety. There was so many accidents and still happen to date, and I still have a passion on road safety to date. And the management living in the developed world, most of the board of directors, they felt like most of the accidents in Kenya, they would be curbed, or we would reduce the number of fatalities if we maybe did creation of awareness, or we ensured that maybe there's better driving or better road manners that people engaged in.
People to stop reckless driving.
Yes. And so we were into trainings, we were into creation of awareness, we went advocacy. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So that is what project management is all about.
No, that's not what all project management is. I will surprise you, Emmy, even for you today, as you woke up today, you are doing project management or you practice project management in your house. Project management is performing an activity within a given time, within a budget. Every woman is a project manager. In fact, we make very good project managers, I will say.
Okay.
Yes.
So what you are doing in the road safety is advocacy. Then somehow it was a project anyway.
Yes, it was a project. It was a project, yes.
That's ended?
No, it didn't end. I found myself now as with time I grew, I started engaging stakeholders. I found myself being a pioneer of project management in this particular NGO. Everything depended on me. And so I trained on job, my project management journey. Yes, I did it as a unit in class during my community development. However, I learned so many things on job. I started engaging stakeholders, governments, communities, and that's how I found myself getting now to have the love and just need to dive deeper into project management. So I belong to a professional body internationally. It's called PMI, Project Management Institute. Yes.
Okay.
And now I'm a degree holder, and I've also done PMP as a course.
Okay, now let's move to why we exist as health focus. In project management in the health space, how did you find yourself there? And what brought you to the health space?
Wow. I've now moved from the road safety, and I've already learned so much in project management. So the organization I moved into, they were looking for a project officer by them, and they into more of eye health. They are in eye health. And yes, that's how I found myself. And I thank God I am a fast learner, because actually at the moment I can I know it's not ethical, but I think I am able to diagnose. I have learned on job on matters eye health, and I've already been able to just get so much, and I've already found my niche and my passion again in eye health, which is disability inclusion.
Okay.
Yes.
Now in health, your major is disability inclusion.
My major is disability inclusion, yes, and facilitation.
How did you find yourself loving this aspect? Because eye health is big, it's huge. How did you drive yourself to this? What motivated you?
So in the year 2021-2022, I was selected as an eye health hero. I was competing with ophthalmologists, clinical officers, optometrists, all over the world. I was among the people who were selected to be globally. I was given an eye health recognition internationally as an eye health hero in the space of change makers. What does that mean? Remember what I mentioned about development studies. So I've started doing what I love, and I am bringing change. And so community, yes. And I was recognized as a change maker in the eye health sector globally.
What did you do that brought that change?
Was we started this conversation, Emily, you asked me which pillars I am supporting, and that is exactly now what made me get recognized, because I interact with patients. As a project officer, then I used to interact with patients in the facility that I was based in. I interacted with patients whom I brought in from a point of desperation to a point of healing, right from maybe even interacting with ophthalmologists, bringing in trainings, ensuring that I push the institution and people who are in this space to go for training and bring in resources through donors who are existing in this space, ensuring that service delivery for iHead is delivered, and not only delivered, but in a quality and effective manner.
Oh. So in a nutshell, your job was you pick a specific issue with a client you identified, you walk them through to the end until they are fully healed with the resources that have been allocated for that.
Exactly. And not only that, I will also manage construction. Project management is wide. I will also manage construction maybe of theaters, and ensure we are still within budget and within timelines, ensure that people are trained, and maybe an ophthalmologist who would want also to maybe do a subspecialty, they also get to have them linked with the course, and I link them with the funds.
Wow.
Yes.
That's such a huge thing in the health space, which I know not doctors, not nurses that can entirely stand in the gap and start linking all those things while they have their individual role they need to perform. You need to go to theater, you need to triage patients, you need to do refraction. You have so much to do. So we need a project manager to come in the space. You've talked about disability inclusion, which is your major. What is this all about?
Disability inclusion. Wow, the world is going disability inclusion. And what do we mean when we say disability inclusion? It's just to ensure that everyone is involved, especially people with disability, into our projects or our implementation. The participation of people with disability is equal to those without disability. I don't know if that makes clear.
That everybody should be able to participate equally.
Yes, equal participation, especially for persons with disability, because for a very long time, persons with disability have been left out of the spaces. May it be in the social spaces, health sector. And where do I say this? When you look at things like, maybe I will mention one pillar financing. The government has not put in place so much allocation in terms of eye health. It has been somehow sidelined. I don't know if to use that word. Somehow sidelined. It's not like it hasn't been given hype like malaria. You know, it's not a public health issue.
It's a communicable.
Oh, it's a public health issue, but it's not a communicable disease. Plus, people tend to go to hospitals once they are not seen. However, there's so much that can be done before this disease or the diagnosis or anything that can be established in between before they can go blind or can get visually impaired.
So your disability inclusion is now measuring in eye health.
Not only in eye health, because disability inclusion is a cross-cutting issue. I am in eye health sector, yes, but I am more in disability inclusion. My passion, I have found my niche is in disability inclusion and safeguarding. What this means is that when I'm going about my eye health implementation issues, I do not leave anyone behind. May it be a person with a physical impairment, may it be someone with hearing impairment. And there is a big gap in this space, in the health, not only in eye health, in the whole of health sector. There's a big problem and big gap in terms of disability inclusion. What do I mean? How inclusive are our hospitals, our facilities? How wide are our doors? Does someone with a wheelchair, can they, without help of anyone, not everyone wants to be helped around. Remember, we want to offer patient-centered services. What does that mean? This person has to have the privacy to talk to the doctor. They don't need an interpreter to come and tell a doctor that there's the privacy they need. And so most of the spaces, if you look at this, it has not been taken care of.
What are the people in the health space supposed to do to ensure that they have done inclusion?
Most of it, I will say, especially when there's communication, we have to ensure that maybe if a person has a hearing impairment, there's someone who can communicate, a medic who can communicate in sign language, or an interpreter in the facility who is also a medic, so that the privacy of this patient is taken care of. In case, most hospitals, do we have ramps where we can wheel, or do we have lifts in the absence of ramps? How wide are our doors? Even in your own home, Emily, I don't know if this applies, but because we are all candidates on disability, how far or how can you reach if someone was on a wheelchair on the switches? There is a standard for the disability inclusion in terms of architecture. Are we following them? Our restrooms, are they disability inclusive? How do you expect someone who has visited your facility in a wheelchair assist themselves? Do they have to get into someone to assist them to get into our regular toilets? What is the language we use around persons with disability? You will often hear people calling them blind. It's not right.
Oh, supposed to.
Visually impaired.
Oh, you're supposed to say they're blind.
You're not supposed to say someone is mentally challenged. What is mental challenge? No.
To say?
Psychosocial impairment. There's so much to learn in this space.
Wow.
And surprisingly, it puts them for this is the persons with disability. Like you notice, I will not say a disabled person. All through this interview, I've been saying person with disability, because there's a rule in the disability inclusion that you start with the first person. You start with the person first, then you define or describe.
Oh, person with a disability, not a disabled person.
Yes. Since inception, what started is the baby, formation of the baby. We do not know about any disability. So disability comes second. Do not glorify the disability. We first recognize a person was first, then a disability. Even though there's some areas or sometimes that we have congenital disability, but you still recognize
a person before disability. Yes. What a great learning.
Yes.
Wow, that's so interesting to hear that healthcare space, we need to have so many things put in place to ensure that we have inclusivity in service delivery, which are patient-centered. I would like to ask a question. So if you could change anything in your career right now, what will it be?
Wow, what will that be, Emily? I think I would love to tell more of stories so that people will know what we are doing. Of course, currently we are doing that. So storytelling in project management is key, but I would love to do more of it so that people are aware of what the life-changing experience that we bring, especially in terms of health and inclusion. So I would love
writing.
I would now like to link my journalism passion to what I am doing right now.
Wow. So what really makes you so happy with your job?
Wow, life-changing, eye-opening. I love that I change, I bring impact. I love to see moving a patient from a point of desperation they are not able to see and restore their sight. And if I cannot restore their sight, give them, because not all sight is restored, not all health issues can be treated. If there's nothing that can be done, then give them a hope through rehabilitation or counseling. That is what I love so much about it. I love to see people smile because of the services that I bring to them.
What makes you so angry?
As I'd mentioned initially, I think there's a lot of ignorance out here in the community, and I feel like people do not take their eye health with the seriousness it deserves. It's not a priority, and I wish it would, because without your eyes, then you will depend forever. If you do not have rehabilitation, then you will depend forever on someone, and the quality of your life, again, is reduced.
So if today the government has just decided to say Stella head the health sector in the nation, where will your focus be on?
I will focus on primary healthcare, because I am a firm believer of if you identify issues early, and I'm a firm believer of preventive more than curative, because we shall curb issues that get into a curative. Most of the things that we are spending so much capital and financing in curative, whereas we can use small amount of these finances into preventive. So I would really focus on primary health care, and of course I'm in the health eye care space, so more of primary eye care. Just ensure that there's early identification, that people are living right, and so that you do not progress, diseases do not progress, there's early identification, early treatment, and so results are good.
Wow. That is it from today's desk. You heard for yourself. Eye health is so important. And again, if you're not in the county that is running or rolling out this project, visit the county nearby that is having this project. And if it's not nearby, get your eyes checked in the nearest health facility. And again, at the end of the day, protect the loved ones that you have. Let them get checked. That's all for project management. See you later as we talk about another healthcare profession. God bless you.
Thank you.